Thank you. Thank you very much, and I would like to welcome everyone in the room. I was actually thinking a few minutes ago that it was a little warm in here today, and then when I looked around, I was thinking that partially it's because we have such a wonderful group of individuals here today. And so in addition to the council members, many of the people around the room are actually part of the intramural program. And so what I will be talking about is what they are very involved in. I'd also like to do a special welcome to Dr. Richard Wyatt. He is waving over there. He is here representing the Deputy Director of Intramural Research. The Intramural Research Program here at NIH is very important to us as an institute. It provides some of the centralized resources that we need and the support that we need. So although I directly report to Dr. Grady, there's a lot of dotted lines that go between our intramural program and the NIH larger intramural program, and that you will see some of that later on in my presentation. So again, welcome to all of you. The purpose of the presentation today, as Dr. Grady said, is to provide you an overview of our scientific focus, the organization, the research programs. I will tell a little bit about some of the current research that we are doing and also talk about our principal investigators. So I would like to tell you that the resources that we receive here in our intramural program really go to support the studies that you're going to be hearing about today. Those who actually conduct the work are the 40 to 50 individuals in our intramural program, and most of those are actually fellows and trainees. Our theme for today, each year we present, we're fortunate enough to actually have an intramural presentation for most of our September council meetings. Each year there's a theme. And so this year's theme is related to collaborations. So we will talk about our collaborations both within and outside NIH. We had a similar theme last April when we had our very successful scientific symposium titled Symptom Science Research, A Path to Precision Health. Many of the pictures I'm using today actually came from that symposium, so you may see pictures of our investigators as well as our collaborators, as well as our fellows. So NINR's Intramural Research Program, as I stated, is focused on symptom science. Specifically, we are dedicated to conducting research on the molecular and biobehavioral mechanisms underlying our symptoms. We study environmental influences such as behavior, lifestyle, and diet. And we also recognize and investigate the impact of individual genetic variations and how they impact the symptoms as well. We do this in a variety of conditions, including cancer-related fatigue, digestive disorders, traumatic brain injury, obesity, and diabetes. Lastly, we design and conduct clinical interventions to alleviate these symptoms. Our intramural program created the NIH Symptom Science Model as a foundation for our science. As you may recall, it begins with the presentation of a symptom or clusters of symptoms. The symptom undergoes phenotypic characterization, then biologic or omic discoveries are made. And this ultimately leads to clinical applications, resulting in symptom reduction and improvement. The NIH Symptom Science Model was also highlighted in our intramural symposium in April and is guiding the science to be conducted within our proposed Symptom Science Center. As you may recall, in 2015, NIH's larger intramural program, and there are 23 of our institutes that have intramural programs, and most of the intramural programs are actually housed on the Bethesda campus. So when you come here to this meeting, you're actually you're walking past or driving past the buildings where a lot of the intramural programs are located. So there are 23 intramural programs here, and we are one of the 23. So all of the larger whole actually went through this long-term planning process. As part of that process, an outcome for NINR was the proposed creation of the NIH Symptom Science Center, and that would be led by NINR. The purpose of the center is to promote the understanding of the biologic and biobehavioral mechanisms of symptoms to improve patient outcomes. I'd like to focus now a little bit on the organizational structure of our intramural program. As I've stated, our report, the whole intramural program for NINR reports to Dr. Grady. But within the Office of the Scientific Director, we have the Office of the Training Director and the Office of the Clinical Director. As you can see, our scientific research program is divided into 3 branches, and the Biobehavioral branch, the Symptoms Management branch, and the Tissue Injury branch. We are, with the addition of Dr. Patricia Brennan, we will have the Advanced Visualization branch, and I'll be speaking a little bit more about each of these in a few minutes. Today, I will be presenting an overview of the research programs. Presentations later today by 4 of our investigators will build on what I present. What I hope you will see is that we have a strong and vibrant research program focused on symptom science. At the 30,000-foot level, our investigators do basic science work, clinical investigations, and use animal models in addition to incorporating quantitative and qualitative methodologies. We integrate omics and behavioral data to examine outcomes and design interventions for diverse populations. In addition, I'm really excited to say, as you've already heard actually, that we do have a new acting assistant clinical investigator, Dr. Polly Joseph. So she has already begun her work here, and I'm very pleased that she actually submitted an application for the Clinical Lasker Research Scholar Award. So she is, during that process, was able to make a lot of collaborations around NIH as she began writing that. So before I get to the science, though, I will briefly expand on the Office of the Training Director, which is led by Dr. Pam Temez, and the Office of the Clinical Director, which is led by Dr. Sue Wingate. Dr. Wingate is an adult nurse practitioner who came to NINR after spending 15 years with Kaiser Permanente, directing their heart failure treatment program. As clinical director, Dr. Wingate has a very important role for us here at NINR. She oversees all clinical aspects of the on-campus research program, including the clinical protocols and the clinical competencies. She also oversees the majority of our clinical staff that we have. The Office of the Training Director is led by Dr. Pam Temez. Many of you may already be familiar with Dr. Temez, as she has been she's been our Deputy Training Director for the last year and has worked within our NINR Office of the Training Director for several years. Dr. Temez has done a wonderful job in that position, and I have strong confidence that she will be excellent leading and overseeing our training programs. Dr. Temez graduated with her PhD in drug discovery from the University of Illinois at Chicago, and she has a BS in biology. Dr. Temez worked as a training specialist in NIAID and a scientist and curator for the Reference Sequence Project at the National Library of Medicine prior to joining NINR. I have found her to be an effective mentor and passionate about trainee education. Our key signature programs, training programs, include our long-standing successful Summer Genetic Institute, our very popular NINR Symptom Methodologies boot camps, and our innovative NINR Graduate Partnership Program, which brings doctoral students to the NIH to conduct their dissertation research. I'll now focus a little more on the science, and I'll turn first to the Biobehavioral branch. As you can see, there are 2 laboratories within this branch. Dr. Wendy Henderson is a tenure-track investigator and the chief of the Digestive Disorders Unit. Her unit examines brain-gut microbiota, mechanisms, and biobehavior involved in symptom distress related to digestive disorders. Our newest member, Dr. Polly Joseph, obtained her PhD from Pennsylvania University of Pennsylvania, and joined NINR as a postdoc a few years ago, working under the mentorship of Dr. Wendy Henderson. This summer, she joined us as an acting assistant clinical investigator. The goal of Dr. Joseph's lab is very unique and exciting for us. She is looking to understand more about the molecular and neural mechanisms underlying symptoms related to sensory disorders, to identify novel targets for treatment and improve symptom management strategies. Our next branch is the symptom management branch. There are 2 laboratories within this branch as well. So my unit, which is the Genomic and Clinical Biomarkers Unit, conducts research to discover biomarkers within an environmental and clinical context, to predict patient outcomes and to guide therapies, specifically for solid organ transplant recipients, but also expands to other diseases and disorders and patient populations. Dr. Leo Saligan is the chief of the Symptom Biology Unit. Dr. Saligan is also a tenure-track investigator who examines the nature and causes of fatigue in specific conditions including cancer and examines molecular and biobehavioral underpinnings of symptoms associated with fatigue. Our third branch, the Tissue Injury Branch, has 2 laboratories, the Brain Injury Unit and the Neuromuscular Symptoms Unit. The chief of the Brain Injury Unit is Dr. Jessica Gill, a tenure-track investigator and one of the first NIH Lasker clinical research scholars. Dr. Gill is leading her unit with research examining predictors of poor outcomes following concussions and traumatic brain injuries. Actually, Dr. Gill, Dr. Henderson, and Dr. Saligan will be presenting later on, and so they will expand on the work that they're doing. A 4th tenure-track investigator is Dr. Katie Mayer, who is chief of the Neuromuscular Symptoms Unit. She became a tenure-track investigator last year in 2016. Her goal is to develop novel measures and treat symptoms of various forms of congenital muscle disease, most of which have no treatment and are associated with severe mortalities and morbidities. As I previously stated, Dr. Patricia Brennan has recently joined our intramural program, and her lab is actually under development. But I wanted to go ahead and share with you what she's planning on doing. We are very excited about her innovative area of science, as she will focus on developing and using advanced visualization tools such as virtual reality to present health information and improve health outcomes. And shortly, she will be posting positions for postdocs and fellows. And so we're really looking for strong applicants to come and join her in her outstanding area of research, because I think there are going to be a lot of opportunities there that involve not only engineering, but nursing and kind of that technology of the future. Or maybe it's already here, but anyway, it's going to be great stuff. So we couldn't do this type of work without some of our outstanding personnel who keep our labs running and keep the progress going. So I'd like to introduce Dr. Kim and Dr. Wang. They, along with multiple other staff, keep us moving forward. Their expertise and willingness to learn the cutting-edge technologies and to teach this to our fellows and trainees, all of our postdoctoral students and postbaccalaureate students, have provided a stable foundation for the growth of our programs. So this is our web address, and I encourage you to explore it to learn more about our training programs as well as our science. So I'd like to thank you for listening today and see if there's some questions that I might answer for you.